I started my career as a pediatric nurse. Now I'm a CEO of a children's hospital. So I see lots of instances of children that are in foster care or adopted. And in those instances, they are almost always children who had been abused or children who are disabled. And so I equate adoption with luck in those circumstances because that's my experience. It's like, oh, if not for that family, this child would have been institutionalized, or if it not for that family, this child would have continued to be physically and sexually abused.
There are so many layers. No child has to be grateful to their parents in whatever way for just existing. And I think children don't take responsibility for their parents' happiness or their parents' wellness, right? So I think that just as a baseline for everybody. But then in adoption, there is this layering of the adopted person has to be grateful, has to feel fortunate because of whatever circumstances they were in, made it such that they couldn't be cared for by their family of origin. That said, there are all these layers that I think about, having worked with a lot of foster youth that age out of the foster care system, and that it would be very, very good and even fortunate, maybe even lucky, however you want to characterize it, to be enveloped into a family system that could care for them. So there are all these different pieces and parts of it. And I'm so glad you shared, some of your professional holding of it, and then that which becomes a personal holding, or either or, but together really speaks to this idea that, and this is a hard thing to say, but, children come into the world through parents that aren't equipped to love them, and it's not a judgment. It just might be true. And it's actually okay to say that out loud, and I think that real talk about some of those harder things is kind of what sort of adoption teaches the world, is that you can talk about hard things related to identity, family structure, systems, in service of them getting better and in service of the better health of everyone.